Hi, this is Dr. Gail, and I'm going to give you a little bit of preview on this particular assignment. It's really important in this course to follow directions. And basically, what I do is I copy and paste the instructions out and I bullet information and so forth, just so that I can make sure that I've got everything in and that I'm seeing everything in a different format than what's written here. So this is a two-part assignment. And what I actually did was in week 4 there was an assignment, and it was actually this assignment. But there was a lot of things going on in this course, and so which I did not create. And most of the assignments I've left as is. For those of you who know me, I tend to modify assignments, which is encouraged and required by faculty, by the way. But I just sort of modified them a little bit, and in some cases I combined them with other assignments, so that in week 4 you have no assignments. The only thing you have is discussion, and that gives you a little bit of a reprieve, as well as it gives you an opportunity to work on your signature assignment, which should never be left until the last 2 weeks of the course. So anyhow, with that in mind, this is a two-parter. And you're going to create an interactive timeline and a worksheet. The worksheet's over here, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But right now, I want to focus on part 1. What you're going to do is you're going to create a timeline showing the evolution of the training profession from World War II to the present. And you're going to add an approximate date, like the year, events, one-sentence description of each event, and an image. Remember, images are required in this course. So interactive means digital. Nothing is interactive in a Word document, and PowerPoint is not allowed in this course or Google Slides. Now, I understand that you can, you could put links in a Word document, but that's really not a digital format. And so PowerPoint and Google Slides are not accepted. There is a suggestion to use a read, write, think timeline. However, you absolutely must follow each direction in order to receive a PDF. If you do not want to use this suggested tool, you may locate an interactive tool of your choice, web-based. This could be something like a mind map or a web-based flowchart. If you're using a web-based tool for this, you must make it public, copy and paste the link onto the worksheet under the appendix provided in part 2. If you use Read, Write, and Think, you will submit the timeline as a separate document. So there's that. And then part 2 is you're going to complete the attached worksheet. Paying close attention to the rubric. You must follow the rubric for all assignments. If you don't, you're not going to do well on the assignments. I guarantee you that. If you are using Read, Write, and Think, please delete the appendix part and not okay, I just modified it. So if you are using Read, Write, and Think, please delete the appendix part. If you are using a web-based tool, this is where you will copy and paste your URL onto the appendix. So over here are your student materials. If you want to do well, you're going to look at your student materials. This is the Read, Write, Think link. This is a how-to on how to use it. This is the worksheet, which I'm going to take you to now. Okay. So this is identify the training methods in your organization and summarize them in not more than 2 sentences. If you give me more than 2 sentences, I will take off for it. So identifying it and summarizing it together. You see how it's connected with an and? It says identify the methods in your organization and summarize them in not more than 2 sentences. That means identifying it and summarizing it is no more than 2 sentences. For example, face-to-face, computer-generated, and so forth. So if you give me the name of a training method like filling out a payroll card, it will be incorrect. Because remember, that is a training session. The method is how you implement it. The method is the method of implementation. So you want to do that. You just click the text here and answer. And then you're going to identify 2 other training methods that are different than your organization's and compare and contrast these different methods of training with your organization's method. So if you used face-to-face, you'll use 2 others. Now, I suggest you do create a table. I had a student do that in another course, and it was really very effective. And they earned, not that creating a table is going to guarantee you getting all your points for this, but it did help to sort of give you a visualization of what you've added to it rather than writing a paragraph. Sorry about that ringing in the background. I work from home and the phone rang and I had to get up, and I was positive I was going to remember where I left off, but of course I didn't because too many things happened in the meantime. But anyhow, you want to make absolutely sure you're not summarizing and identifying what the 2 other methods are, because that's not a compare and a contrast. So you want to make sure that you're doing this correctly. Then you're going to review the last training that you attended. What training method was presented? So again, training method, it's really important to read words and understand that words are telling you exactly what to do. Now, already up here, I've explained to you what method is. So down here, don't tell me how to fill out a time card. It's the training. What was the last training method you used? Did the training method meet the learning needs of the professionals attending? If you say yes, that's fine, but you've got to really remember the rubric. The rubric is the quality by which your assignment is being assessed, and the assignment directions are what you do. And that is very true in the signature assignment as well as any assignment, really. So if you say yes, that's fine, but if you explain how so, and I'll show you in just a minute on the rubric, and then identify how to improve the training method and state best practices that support your recommendation. This is where students really lose a lot of points because they say there was no need to improve anything. But it says identify how to improve. If I'm saying here that I want you to tell me how to improve the training method and it's on the rubric, you have to come up with something that would improve the training method. Now, if they do that, then what they tend to do is miss this. It has to be best practices, commonly used best practices in training. Look it up on the internet if you don't know. Don't guess at it, because I will know. And then down here, this entire focus has been on you and training methods in your organization. And now what it does is it switches here. How might those who plan training programs be supportive of each other's efforts? So these are the people who are planning the training programs so that they can be developed. Maybe they're going to develop them, or someone else is going to develop them. And it switches from the method of training to the program itself. So you want to make sure that you make that distinction. And then you're going to put your references here. And then what you're going to do is, this is where you would put your link if there is one. If you have a PDF, you're going to just simply remove it. So now I'm going to take you to the rubric. Okay. So you create an interactive timeline. So I just modified this real quickly too. So you're going to create an interactive timeline. See the video tidbit in the course. Depicting the evolution of the training. Actually, I don't really need to have that, so I'll just get rid of that. Depicting the evolution of the training profession from World War II to present. Now, those are the assignment directions, but in order to earn these various increments, you will put 8 events in your timeline for the most points, 6 to 7 for less points, and so forth. You're going to include dates, description of the event, and images for all events. That's the same here. Here, you're going to be missing one of the below these. If using a PDF of the online timeline, this is submitted as the assignment. So that just sort of reiterates. I don't even need to have that, but I put it there because I thought it might help students. So I'll just do it this way. Then you're going to complete the template. So here, you're going to identify 2 training methods that your organization uses with no more than 2 sentences. And here you identify 2 training methods of your organization using more than 2 sentences. In other words, you're not following the directions here. Compare and contrast and so forth. You want to make absolutely sure you're paying attention to this. Organization, not more than 2 errors. APA, this tells you what's required in it. No points are lost in week 1 with the expectation that the feedback be applied in upcoming assignments. And you would be amazed at how many people don't. So they keep learning, earning more and more, losing more and more points. So in week 1 you get 15%. In week 2, if you're making the same mistakes, you're going to make 5%. So you just want to make sure that you're doing that. So this is the overview of the course, the assignment. And so if you have any questions, as always, just let me know.